Justin Bieber has posted a photo of his wife Hailey expressing that they will be together forever and always, but fans aren't convinced that Hailey is even in the photo, and ever since their break, it doesn't seem like they've been able to find their spark again.
Justin Bieber recently caused concern among fans after sharing a series of sweaty selfies on Instagram, captioned simply, "Detox."
Katie Holmes is living a nightmare after accidentally sending shade towards her ex, Tom Cruise, and his much younger, problematic girlfriend, Anna de Armas. Anna Kendrick is trying to keep her relationship a secret. She's so tired of being embarrassed by boyfriends, and it looks like her latest secret boyfriend might have a secret girlfriend that he's hiding from her. Let's get into it. Let's get into Justin Bieber. So it looks like things are looking up for the Bieber family because Justin Bieber called Hailey his forever and always. Aww. You got to acknowledge that this is a sweet photo of him and his wife, especially amid all the chaotic posts that he's been sharing lately. I don't know if Hailey is thinking that it's forever and always because she's been spotted out without her wedding ring on. And the last time I heard, she was giving him the silent treatment because she was tired of his childlike behavior.
You know, when Justin Bieber posts stuff like this, it makes me happy because I'm like, finally he's not posting some weird stuff on the gram. He's actually posting his wife for once in a nice manner. He captioned it, "My forever and always." I'm guessing this is their home. It's absolutely stunning. I would love to have a patio like that just overlooking the water.
Now, it's a nice patio, you can't deny that, but I started to look through these photos a little bit closer. And I don't know about you guys, maybe we can do an extra zoom in, but this almost doesn't look like Hailey. Here's another one of the shots. I mean, I do think that her smile looks similar here, but I don't know, at the same time, it almost doesn't look like it's her. So who could that be? Now, people in the comments are going off. This person writes, "That doesn't look like Hailey. What the hell is that?" Another person writes, "Bro realized that he likes his wife today." Another comment reads, "Is it me or the girl doesn't look like Hailey?" And that comment has almost 50,000 likes, so most everyone agrees. Now, one comment in particular caught my attention. They say, "Why is everyone ignoring the drugs?" So I started to zoom in on these pictures, and I found this one of an iPhone. It almost appears that there's like white powder like lined up on the phone. It also looks like it could be like text messages or possibly like a little notes app that's turned to the side, but that's what people were talking about. Another person writes that it's not Hailey, open your eyes, but Debbie in the comment section pointed out that Hailey did in fact like this post. So if it's another woman, at least maybe Hailey approves of this. It kind of reminds me of when he was like loving up on Sexy Red and she was still liking those posts even though he was hanging out in the strip club. But nonetheless, it's a win for Hailey because with all of these different posts that he is sharing, he really doesn't give her much attention at all. And it seems like he doesn't like her. So if this is her in the photo, it's a win.
Justin Bieber recently caused concern among fans after sharing a series of sweaty selfies on Instagram, captioned simply, "Detox."
Now, we did get a good headline recently that Justin Bieber has been fathering his 10-month-old son. I mean, somebody's got to raise this kid because Hailey Bieber is at every single event. Justin Bieber has been hanging out with his friends 24/7. I guess maybe they are helping him parent. But it looks like he was in the studio and his son, Jack Blues, was there, you know, picking up some of that Bieber talent. And I think fatherhood probably is good for Justin in the long run. He's clearly going through something right now, but I think it's probably a healthy distraction. Maybe at least if he could put down the bong for more than 15 minutes. And I wonder if his smoking of weed has any connection to these anger issues and this rage that he says he has. Because, you know, weed can be calming, you know, you zen out. Maybe when he doesn't have it, he goes into this rage. Justin Bieber's reportedly doing everything he can to keep his behavior in check amid growing speculation that he and his wife Hailey are headed for a divorce. Justin's now allegedly trying to hold it together. An insider says that he's also realized that his rage issues are only pulling away Hailey from him. Justin is doing his best at the moment to control his anger issues. However, it's dawning on him that things are getting serious now, especially given Hailey's recent outings without her wedding ring on. The source claims that Justin is in panic mode, pacing around the house and venting that no one understands. So we are sending you some love and healing and recovery to the Bieber household.
Yo, I've been the shit.
Let's get into Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise. Now, I did not anticipate talking about Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise because they've been done for quite some time, but Katie was caught lurking on Instagram and she liked a certain post. Lately, Tom Cruise has been linked with Ana de Armas, and I keep saying in my videos, Ana, run, because Tom Cruise is no good. But Katie appeared to like an Instagram post regarding the confirmation of Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas' new romance. Katie realized that she had slipped up and she actually went and unliked the post, which makes her look even more guilty. This person writes, imagine accidentally liking your ex's post and it makes the Daily Mail absolute terror. This person writes, I would rather plummet into the flaming abode of the damned. Another person writes, the girl was lurking, which we all do, guilty of it. Someone said accidentally liking someone's post was the online equivalent of stepping on a twig in the woods, and I can never unthink it. Now, Katie Holmes dodged a bullet, kind of, when it came to Tom Cruise. They got together in April 2005. They ended up getting married and having a daughter in April 2006, but in June 2012, she filed for divorce against him because we all know that he's heavy in the cult, and she wanted to protect their daughter, Suri, from him. And props to Katie Holmes for getting out of that. I mean, we don't see many celebrities exit that cult, and she didn't want her daughter to be in that organization. Suri is now 19 years old, and she's able to access the substantial trust that her father had set up for her, even though she doesn't have any relationship with him. But there are so many red flags here. I mean, this man doesn't have any relationship with his children. He's known to be the next leader in line of this cult. So what is Ana doing? But the thing about Ana is, as I looked into her more, she's got an interesting dating history. I don't think that a cult leader is someone that really turns her off like most everyone would be.
When she sees a man as a walking red flag, she charges right at them. Her taste in men is diabolical. Because what do you mean Ana de Armas is rumored to be dating Tom Cruise? Right before Tom, she was seen with this guy, Manuel Cuesta. Who is he? The stepson of Cuba's president. It's a communist country, Miguel Diaz-Canel Bermudez. Which is wild because Ana grew up in Cuba under a dictatorship.
So if she's over here dating the dictator's son, she probably doesn't have an issue with Tom Cruise. This comment reads, hard to believe anyone in their right mind would be in a relationship with a person who's in a cult. Gross. Another person writes, there's a reason why Tom is divorced 3 times and his kids don't talk to him. Run, Ana, run. Another comment reads, don't do it, Ana. It's a trick. It's a trap. It's a trick trap. Now, I don't know the dirty details of Tom's life. I do believe that the cult and that religion had made him want to pursue celibacy, so maybe him and Ana aren't even really getting it on. But there is part of me that feels like their relationship could be a PR relationship because they are both working on a movie together, and we all know how the studios like to push their lead actors together to go and give better promo for the film.
Hope to see you continue to do some more action films. We were excited to see about Deeper with Tom Cruise. Could you say anything about where in the process things are with that?
Training, just training, getting ready for what's going to come.
So it seems like Tom Cruise has been able to lock her down because he probably got her that lead role in this film, Deeper, that they're working on together. This comment reads, damn, Ana looks tired and aged. What happened to her? Another person writes that she's gorgeous, but this did her so dirty. Now, she might have her movie star boyfriend over here helping her get some roles, but it doesn't help that their film Deeper is now put on hold. According to the sources, the movie was supposed to be set up by Warner Brothers, but they don't like the budget that Tom Cruise had come forward with because the film is going to be filmed completely underwater. It's incredibly expensive, and they don't want to go over $230 million, which I think is way too high to make a movie, but I don't know anything about that. Tom Cruise and his girlfriend had already begun prepping for the film, and it looks like Warner Brothers had already begun paying for it to begin, but now they're backing out. But that's not a big concern for Tom because he's such a big movie star that he's going elsewhere to go see if Deep can maybe make it somewhere else. But honestly, if they don't get into production anytime soon, then we're not going to be seeing this film for years and years. So Ana, buckle up. Let's get into Anna Kendrick and her secret boyfriend. So it was just revealed that Anna Kendrick has a new relationship, and his name is Alex Elderman, and it looks like she's trying to keep this as private as possible. Now, I'm actually a big fan of Anna Kendrick. I think that she's funny, she's talented, she's sweet, and she dealt with Blake Lively, which is quite a survival skill. I must say. But I'm not familiar with Alex Eldman, but it looks like he is a comic who does a bunch of stand-up acts. I mean, nowadays there are so many comics, I don't know how to keep up. I just went to a comedy show at the Improv Hollywood last night, and there's just so many people. So the competition is tough. So Anna isn't doing any public appearances with Alex anytime soon, but she supposedly met his mother, which is a big step for her, and they're getting serious about each other. They've supposedly been dating for several months now, but they're trying to keep their relationship very private. A source claims that these two actually celebrated Alex's birthday back together in March, so it looks like they've been together since about then, and I want you guys to keep March in your mind. The source says that their relationship does not seem casual, and it looks like they're trying to stay away from the spotlight by going to low-key restaurants that are not your typical celeb hangouts to avoid the paparazzi. But if I saw Anna Kendrick anywhere, she's someone who I would totally recognize right away. Now, this is the Let's Get Into a podcast, but I do have a blind item for you guys that came out a few months ago about these two, so we've known that they've been dating. So according to sources, these two have been dating since March, like I said. But I found it interesting that Jessica Alba was linked with Alex actually back in March, on March 2nd. They were exiting the 2025 Vanity Fair Oscar party together. And they weren't just leaving together. She actually had his jacket on, and supposedly he said that she was cold and she needed it, but it looks pretty romantic. Jessica just filed for divorce from her husband of 16 years, Cash Warren, and Alex is known for his one-man show Just for Us, and he was even honored with a special Tony Award. So he's, making his way in comedy and Broadway. I don't watch as much Broadway as I should. Jessica Alba is just so beautiful. Even when the wind is pushing against her, anyone else who's in this situation, trying to get this jacket over, the wind's blowing, would look terrible. And look at her, she's looking great. But it makes me think of that blind item. I mean, if Alex were to leave Anna Kendrick, I don't think she wants another breakup. Before Anna was with Alex, she was dating Edgar White from 2009 until 2013. Supposedly they broke up due to a combination of factors, including distance, because she lived in LA, he was in London, and the challenges of dealing with the paparazzi and media attention. So that's probably another reason why she wants to keep everything private. Then we all know about her relationship with Ben Richardson. We don't have too many details about him, but she has spoken to at length about how he was abusive, emotionally and mentally, and she actually had to go to therapy for this. So I'm glad that he's out of the picture. We did a deep dive on my main channel on all the reasons why she claims that he was abusive. So if you have not seen that, definitely go and check it out. And then she was linked to Bill Hader. It looks like they were dating for about 2 years, but broke up in 2022. Anna and Bill actually started dating after they starred in the 2019 Disney film Noelle together, and they've been dating for a while. They kept their relationship private for about a year. A source told Des Moines that Anna and Bill broke up because he wanted to focus on his work and his kids. Bill had previously expressed his desire to keep his relationship private to protect his kids. He just wants to be their dad. So I think his relationship with Anna Kendrick was a little bit too public for his liking. But either way, it seems like Alex is a decent guy. I tried to look him up online. It turns out that his brother AJ is some Olympian, and it looks like they may have had a little bit of a feud, but I couldn't find too much there. So it looks like he's, off my radar for now. Good pick, Anna. Hopefully he sticks with you. When they say keep your eye out for Selena, you gotta keep your eye out for Jessica Alba. Let's get into Lizzo. Recently, I've been seeing more and more of Lizzo, even though I thought she was canceled for forcing her dancer to eat a banana out of a woman's genitalia. But no, Lizzo is back, and she's opening up about that bombshell lawsuit that was filed against her that drove her into a depression. So she's doing an interview with Women's Health because Lizzo has lost a lot of weight, and at one point she said, "Do you ever get tired of living?" before revealing that her pain ran so deep that she found herself thinking, "I could die." She claims the hate got so bad and so loud that she started to wonder, if everyone thinks I'm this awful person, then what's the point of being here at all? Now, she said what helped her snap out of this depression was actually Beyonce's Renaissance tour. I did not know that was a cure for depression. She claims that she went out into the crowd and she thought that maybe she'd be booed away, but she wasn't, and it gave her her spark back. Remember, Lizzo was sued by 3 different dancers and also her ex-stylist, who claimed that she was worked into the ground with brutal 20-hour shifts. To give you guys a reminder of who these women are suing Lizzo, here's a news clip.
She actually balled up her fist like this to me. She started cracking her knuckles, and she was like, "You're so effing lucky that basically I'm not gonna hit you."
Now, back in December, Lizzo got some good news. The judge must have liked her because they dropped her from the lawsuit, but her touring company is still in hot water facing serious allegations. So they're going to have to explain why were they being worked so hard? Why were they being taken to these really inappropriate environments? And I remember Lizzo was accused of fat shaming her own dancers, which doesn't really align with her brand. Let's get into Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Blake Lively is not going to let this lawsuit slide, and it looks like she's actually subpoenaed people like Perez Hilton and Candace Owens, accusing them of working with Justin Baldoni. Now, that could be really bad for these creators if they were caught talking to Justin Baldoni's lawyer or his team. Personally, I've never had anyone reach out to me. A source with direct knowledge says that Perez Hilton, Candace Owens, and Andy Signor have all been subpoenaed to turn over all communications with Justin Baldoni and the Wayfair parties. Now, these subpoenas may be connected to the judge's order earlier this month, allowing Blake to take discovery in order to uncover all of the lengths that Justin Baldoni could have gone to create this campaign that she's so convinced is going on. Now, Perez, Candace, and Andy have all used their platforms to discuss the case. I mean, I don't think it's much different than what I have done on my channels, but maybe they get into it a little bit too much with like direct sources who are reaching out to them. But again, this would be really bad news for these creators if they were caught doing this, because it shows intent to defame, which could get them in trouble. They might have to go and pay up some money to Blake Lively, who really doesn't need it.
Okay, Candace Owens finally got served this morning by Blake Lively and her team, and this is what she has to say about it. Listen up.
What I think they're doing here is I called on, like, this is weird. Obviously, she knows for a fact that we are not going to allow her to have access to every text message and email pertaining to her and Ryan Reynolds and Wayfair Studios, because she watched me live say, now that I'm interested in this story, which my interest began on January 25th, now that I'm interested, I am opening up a tips line, and I am saying to all the mommy slews and the daddy slews and anybody that's known Ryan or anybody that has an inside scoop to email me so that I have, something to share with the public about them. And sure enough, what happened? Everyone and their mamas and their teachers. We got Ryan Reynolds teachers that messaged me and said, here's a tidbit from who he was when he was in school growing up, blah, 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 and we shared that information. So she's literally subpoenaing, just to be very clear, she wants, I'm going to put it at 10,000 emails that we have received since we opened up this tip line. I went through it. I mean, I was like, this would be insane for you to ask me for this information. She's coming for the mommy sleuth. She's like, I want to know every Barbara and Sandy and Megan and every person that emailed you.
Now, when it comes to Andy Signor, he actually revealed that he had an exclusive statement from Brian Friedman, who is Justin Baldoni's lawyer. So again, that is like a connection right there that probably wouldn't look good in court. Let's get into JayZ and Tony Busby. One thing I've learned about the Carter family is that they are not to be messed with, because ever since JayZ got pulled into the Diddy lawsuit, he has been fighting so hard to go and clear his name. When it comes to Beyonce and JayZ, they are not going to go down easy. But Tony Busby is taking a victory lap around JayZ because a judge dismissed a lawsuit JayZ filed against him. And it looks like Tony Busby is going to go after JayZ, trying to get money for his attorney's fees. JayZ was suing Tony Busby for extortion and defamation until a California judge stepped in and tossed out the lawsuit. Tony says he will be asking for a lot of money for his attorney's fees for defending against a meritless case. Tony adds, we have a long history of winning, so we won't be deterred in our important work. It does look like JayZ's team is going to file a notice of appeal within the courts to try to have another judge look at this case, but it looks like it's pretty much dead in the water. I mean, I would probably give up if I was JayZ, unless you want more and more people digging into you. You already lost your battle against Tony Busby. Don't end up like Diddy. Let's get into Khloe Kardashian. Now, I don't know what this new wave of celebrities admitting plastic surgery is supposed to be. At first, I thought it was maybe refreshing. Now it's kind of annoying. Like, they are just plastic and proud. I'm glad that they're being open about what they have gotten done, but Khloe Kardashian just recently listed a bunch of things on Instagram. Khloe is spilling the surgery tea in an unprovoked comment. It looks like she's trying to copy her sister Kylie Jenner, who shared that she got her big boobies done. So pretty much a plastic surgeon made a video talking about the procedures they believed that Khloe had done, but she decided to go and set the record straight and reveal everything that she has supposedly had done. I'm not fully buying it. I mean, take a look at this list. She goes on to say that she got a nose job, she's gotten hairline laser hair removal, Botox and Sculptra, I don't know what Sculptra is, soft wave laser for skin tightening. She lost 80 pounds over the years, she claims, not Ozempic. Collagen baby threads underneath her chin and neck, which honestly, I feel like I could use that, you know, a little tightening up of the neck. And of course, she gets these salmon sperm facials, which I know Kim was trying to make headlines revealing that before. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a good fish, a good piece of salmon, but I don't want the salmon, you know, sperm anywhere near me. I mean, if fish is going to smell fishy, that is probably going to be the fishiest part. Let's be real, people. Let's get into Diddy. Now, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to Diddy, so get ready. So this male escort that Diddy used to hire with Cassie is now making allegations that Cassie had given him an STD. Clayton Howard is one of the escorts that Diddy had hired, and it looks like he's calling out Cassie for giving him an STD and claiming that she had gotten pregnant by him. Clayton, who says he went by Dave, was hired for FOs, and Diddy and Cassie would bring him in and have unprotected you-know-what. He claims that he actually impregnated her and that she got rid of the pregnancy without even telling him. He claims he was hired back in 2009, and he says for more than 5 years that they trafficked him for the purposes of commercial sex. Clayton claims that Diddy and Cassie drugged, manipulated, and traumatized him while they themselves engaged in a toxic, domestically abusive relationship that became violent. Clayton actually claims after dealing with Diddy and Cassie for 5 years, he has physical and psychological injuries, loss of wages and benefits, medical expenses, and pain and suffering. Now, he was actually not called in as a witness in the trial, but he was mentioned several times during testimony in Diddy's trial. A federal agent testified about Clayton's stay at the Four Seasons and a flight from New York City to LA, all paid by Diddy. Now that this case has wrapped up, everyone is speaking about Diddy, and of course, Clayton is going to have his piece. And here's a clip of Clayton explaining what he had gone through.
So let me tell you something, you women out there who would like to insult me. This is my story. I was paid by Cassie, Cassandra Ventura, for 8 years to be her male provider. I didn't have to be the best looking guy. I was the best in bed. And because I was the best in bed, guess what? I was given this arrangement. I was coerced. I was drugged. I was manipulated with promises of money and gifts for over a period of 8 years to continue to be this woman's provider at her expense and at the expense of Diddy. Now, at the time, legally, I didn't know my rights as well as I do now. I didn't create this conflict with Cassandra Ventura. She created it with me. She's the one who decided to bring up things that happened over 10 to 15 years ago to hold Sean Combs accountable for what was a partial truth. She's the person who introduced me to the U.S. Attorney's Office. She's the person who told the U.S. Attorney's Office about our relationship. So in essence, those out there who want to hate on me, who want to say that I'm attacking Cassie, you should realize the truth, that Cassandra Ventura, your idol, did this to herself.
Let's get into the Diddy verdict. Now, there have been a ton of reactions to the verdict that Diddy has been given, and a lot of people are upset because he wasn't given the most serious charges. He was convicted of 2 counts out of 5. He faces a maximum sentence of 10 years for each of those counts, but I have a feeling that the 20 years is going to quickly become more like 5 or maybe even 2 years. When the jury note about reaching a verdict came back to the courtroom, it didn't seem like Diddy's legal team was too happy, and prosecutors were smiling until everything quickly shifted. Diddy was brought out of the holding cell, smiling to his family as he buried his head in a book as the jury came out. There was a big sigh of relief from Diddy's camp when there was a not guilty after count 1, the RICO charge, the most intense charge of them all. The gallery yelped, "Oh!" when Diddy was acquitted on the trafficking charge for Cassie, count 2. Diddy then started rubbing his eyes and putting his face in his hands. There was no movement when Diddy found out he was guilty on count 3, transportation for the purpose of prostitution relating to Cassie. Diddy then fist pumped from his seat when he was acquitted on count 4, trafficking Jane. And there was one of his victims who went by Jane Doe throughout the trial. We believe that she is connected to 50 Cent, but we're just going to stop there.
Today's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping, but one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens. And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough.
Now, social media has had an entirely different reaction than the courtroom. This comment reads, "That man is far from innocent." Another comment reads, "Courts bought at the highest level." Now, after the verdict was read, there was a celebration of fans outside of the courthouse, and let's just say it got pretty chaotic.
I told y'all this to give it, keep on giving.
That is just one place I would not want to be, especially getting oil sprayed onto myself. Like, that won't leave your clothing. But also, how chaotic is it that, like, baby oil has become a symbol of, like, supporting Diddy? Standing with Diddy is covering yourself in baby oil. On top of all of the cheering, we also saw Diddy's son, and it looks like he decided to go and do some push-ups on the street as he thanked fans. You actually hear that he was playing one of the Kanye West songs, Never Stop, that came out in their joint released EP in support of Diddy. And I don't know what this push-up moment is supposed to be. Maybe a sign that, like, he's dominating people, or that he's not scared, or a sign of strength. But at the end of the day, he still was found guilty of 2 charges. I don't know why we're out here celebrating so hard.
And there you see, after the verdict, Diddy's family celebrating on the streets in New York City, doing push-ups on the sidewalk while others danced. They said a few words exclusively to ABC News, and the attorney for Cassie Ventura also spoke out about this verdict.
Love everybody watching. So happy. Pop's coming home. God bless. God bless the whole world.
This comment reads, "I don't know, I'm creeped out by all of the men in this family now. No shade." And I totally agree, especially because his sons look so much like him. I have a feeling that they are quite similar. I mean, we've talked about King Combs before on the channel and what he had done to this woman who was working on a boat that they had rented out. He's just as problematic. Let's get into Diddy's ex, Gina. Now, Gina was supposed to be witness number 3 to go and testify against Diddy, but she was a no-show. It looks like some videographer caught up with Gina outside of a Whole Foods. It does seem like this entire interaction is planned, and maybe some kind of way for Gina to go and rewrite the narrative when it comes to the Diddy trial. She claims that he never did anything dangerous to her, which is interesting considering prosecutors were trying to get her to testify. And what's unfortunate is that I believe that Gina is a victim of some of the things that Diddy has done to these women, but she's so brainwashed and convinced that he's like her god that she cannot accept that he's wrong.
Do you think Diddy's gonna win this trial? You don't know? Okay. I've been hearing a lot of stories. Everybody been hearing like maybe.
I mean, we did make a video about her missing, and she wasn't a missing person, but missing from trial. So clearly taking a stand on Diddy's side, the fact that she's just not showing up to court. Like, you can't just do
you
that.
were kidnapped or like something like crazy. Like, we're just hearing a lot of stuff. Is there anything you can clear up or anything like that?
No, I'm safe. I'm not kidnapped.
Real quick, before you go, that's what I want to know. If Diddy does win this trial, do you think your life will be threatened in any kind of way?
No.
You don't think so? You think everything will be safe? Because the girl Aubrey O'Day, she said that if Diddy wins, she's gonna leave the country.
I mean, he never did anything dangerous to me. I'm not scared.
You're not scared?
This comment reads, "They all got paid. Diddy paid everybody." Another comment reads that this is very staged. Another person writes that she was paid. End of story. And then finally, so she vanished during the trial and now she magically appears. LMAO. Prosecutors confirmed last month that Gina was victim number 3 in the Diddy indictment. They labeled her as a victim of trafficking. Gina did not end up taking the stand during the trial, with the feds saying early on that they were having a difficult time contacting her and they weren't sure if she would show up even with a subpoena. Gina's name still popped up several times during the witness testimony. Diddy's exes, Cassie and Jane, both testified about jealousy involving Diddy and Gina's relationship. Diddy's assistant, George, testified that he once saw an angry Diddy throwing objects at Gina's head. But here we've got Gina saying that Diddy isn't dangerous. So is she lying or is she brainwashed, and I feel like it's more of the latter, that she's brainwashed, and it's actually really sad to see. Let's get into former Spice Girl Mel B. Let's go ahead and end this podcast episode on a positive note, because Mel B recently got married to Rory McVie. I used to be a huge fan of the Spice Girls growing up, so I'm glad that she's finding her peace. Now, Mel B has been through a lot when it comes to the love department, between physical abuse, divorces, messy breakups. She really has gone through it, all in the public eye. But her husband Rory first met Mel through her cousin, actor Christian Cook. In 2019, Mel actually moved near where Rory stays, and it looks like their relationship deepened. Rory's patience and emotional support during a difficult time when she was dealing with PTSD is what led to her falling in love with him. The couple got engaged in October 2022, and Rory even went to Mel B's father's gravesite to go and ask him for permission to go and marry her. Oh my gosh, I'm going to tear up thinking about that. Like, of course, they're grown and they're adults now, and her dad's no longer here, so it's very sweet that Rory would go to his grave to ask for that permission. Comment below if you guys have heard a story like that before. But the two got married on July 5th, 2025, and it looks like they were in London. Emma Bunton, Baby Spice from the Spice Girls, was actually in attendance of this wedding, which I thought was very sweet. But let's just say it wasn't a Bezos wedding. You know what I mean? And actually, I'm really happy to see Mel B's wedding. It's like a celebrity wedding, but it's like somewhat normal compared to what we dealt with Jeff Bezos. Oh my gosh. You guys need to go and check out that last podcast episode if you guys have not seen it yet. But I want to hear what you guys think of this episode in the comments below. My email is sloanwellknown@gmail.com. So if you guys have other video topics you want me to talk about in our episodes, let me know in my email. But thank you guys for watching this episode, and I'll see you in next week's. Bye guys.